I always try to avoid politics on this show. I mainly focus on pop culture, but today news story broke that caught my attention not because it was political, but it involves malicious persecution of certain people by my own government, the United States of America. And the person in question is an acquaintance of mine, Chen, who has resurfaced after the Biden administration targeted her and her media company, Tenet Media. Hi everyone, my name is Jacob Berry. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast, where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website, studiojakemedia.substack.com. You can click on the link in the description of the video. You can support me by subscribing at different tiers that unlock different perks. One more thing before I jump into the video, I have a special announcement on Friday of this week, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But I wanted to talk about Chen. Like I said, she is an acquaintance of mine. I've had her here on StudioJake when I was a little bit more political. I have met her on several occasions, and when I was working at the Daily Wire, I was well connected with her, and I even gave her an autographed copy of my novel, The Seven Royals, All Good Things, which is now probably in some FBI locker somewhere. Hopefully the FBI is enjoying it. But she was targeted, harassed, and basically smeared across the media landscape after the FBI raided her home. At the time, I said that if she had lied to the people she had hired about where the funding of this media company came from, because that was the focus of the DOJ investigation, that was wrong. However, the onus is on the prosecutors, like I said at the time. She is innocent until proven guilty. Nothing was proven. The only thing we had heard from her after the shutdown of Tenet Media, and she seemingly was erased off the internet, was that Canada tried to do its own kangaroo court, and I did a video reacting that as well. Chen and her husband Liam, who I also know, they wisely chose to disappear for the sake of their children. Chen just released a statement regarding the issue, and I wanted to read it to you and talk a little bit about it. The statement reads, "This past year has brought trials I never imagined possible. There is so much I have to say, but for now, I will do my best to answer a question. I know many of you have been wondering what happened. On September 4th, 2024, 2 months before the general election, my husband, 2-year-old, and I were awoken early in the morning by 30 armed FBI agents about to break down our door. At the time, I was entering my 4th month of pregnancy. The FBI spent the next 4 hours searching our house and interrogating us about our company, Tenet Media, which licensed mostly right-leaning conservative content. They took all of our electronics and seized our assets. This included our life savings and revenue that had nothing to do with Tenet, such as payments from contracts with the Blaze and TPUSA. That same day, then Attorney General Merrick Garland published a press release which essentially labeled Tenet a Russian propaganda operation intent on subverting American elections. The department also unsealed an indictment on 2 Russian individuals that worked in conjunction with our company, but were not in U.S. custody or even in the country. This lengthy indictment of these individuals was largely focused on Tenet, though most of the information provided was false, inaccurate, or out of context. There were also claims made concerning issues outside of our knowledge, and we regard those allegations with extreme skepticism. Garland painted Tenet as a covert Russian propaganda mouthpiece and our conservative-leaning talent as unwitting propagandists. The implication was that the Russian government was astroturfing support for President Donald Trump and the upcoming elections, and that his conservative and right-wing supporters online and in independent media were merely behind him because they were paid to be. The notion was categorically untrue. To be clear, my own commentary has never been shaped by any outside parties, despite working with several different companies during my time on social media. Furthermore, as a company, Tenet offered total editorial freedom to our creators. We never forced or advised our creators to push certain agendas, nor were we ever told to do so by any third party. In fact, we often did not see the content our creators published directly to our platform until it went live. We encourage these creators to do what they do best, speak their minds boldly. To suggest that their earnest opinions are tantamount to Russian propaganda is not only dishonest, but a besmearing of views commonly shared by a huge swath of Americans. In any case, due to the political nature of Garland's press release, our story quickly made international headlines, and we were falsely labeled spies, propagandists, and even traitors. We wanted to set the record straight, but it immediately became apparent that any attempt to challenge the Biden DOJ resulted in threats of arrest, charges, and potentially prison. And so, out of fear of being separated from our children, and under the advice of counsel, we chose to remain silent until we could be sure that speaking out would not result in further judicial or extrajudicial punishment. Though there were never any criminal charges, much less convictions, due to this widely publicized investigation, all of our professional contracts were promptly dropped. We were deplatformed from YouTube, TikTok, Discord, and Google. We and even some of our family members were debanked by several financial institutions. We were forced to move due to death threats. Our work-based immigration visa, which was torpedoed by the actions against our company, was not renewed. The Canadian government also seemed to have opened their own investigation into us following the highly publicized American case, and of course, we quickly amassed legal fees well into the six figures. In March of this year, due to high blood pressure caused by chronic stress, I was induced and delivered our daughter. Despite the circumstances surrounding the pregnancy, she is a happy and healthy baby and has been a light in our lives during these difficulties, thanks be to God. In April, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York informed our lawyer that the investigation into us and our company had finally been closed. This news provided us with some relief, but it soon became clear that although we weren't criminals, the SDNY had no interest in restoring us to where we were before the investigation began, though they could easily do so. There would be no similar press release absolving us of the very public and very serious allegations that had been made against us. There would be no help clearing our names with the Canadian government. They would not restore our visa status, and predictably, despite the lack of charges or conviction, our financial assets, all of our savings, would not be returned. We have lived humbly this past year, both due to financial woes and public vilification. We have had very little certainty about what our future as a family will look like because my American visa was contingent upon our company. We had no choice but to leave our home and children's place of birth. We are doing everything in our power to get a new visa and return home. Sadly, we also lost some people who we believed were our friends, but more notably, we were blessed to have quite a number of our colleagues reach out with words of support. Some even published videos or posted in our defense. I'm humbled to say that there are too many to thank individually. We have also received many kind messages from our audience during this time, and I cannot thank you all enough. Your messages of support, which have continued to come even though I've been gone from public life for a year now, never fail to bring tears to my eyes. No criminal charges were ever actually brought against myself, my husband, or our company. The legal investigation has been quietly closed. Despite this, the road ahead of us is fraught with difficulty and uncertainty. I wish this ordeal was over, but our struggles continue as we fight to correct the many ways that our lives were upended. To that end, as some of you have kindly suggested and offered, we are now seeking help to cover our still growing legal fees in our effort to return home. Any support is greatly appreciated, and we look forward to getting back to content creation and our lives soon. Thank you. In conclusion, this is nothing more than a fishing expedition by the Biden DOJ, which I very strongly suggested in the two videos I previously made about it. Everyone under American law is innocent until proven guilty. And yes, I know Lauren Chen is Canadian. Doesn't matter. She was here in the United States. She was being persecuted by the Biden administration. She deserved the same presumption of innocent. And I hope everyone who dogpiled on her, who said, oh, I guess she's just a Russian asset, that she's a Russian spy, that she's a product of RT. And yes, she has gone on RT, as have many other American commentators have done. If you want to attack Lauren Chen for going on RT, that being Russia Today, then you need to attack every single conservative who has gone on BBC or CBC because they are both funded by their governments. So get off your high horse. Anyway, the point is, this is all what we were suspicious that it was. Nothing more than the Biden administration targeting people that they disagreed with in order to get clout with the left. That's all it was. It was a conspiracy to defame, to shame, and to smear Lauren Chen. I hope that she gets recompense. I wish her family all the best. Now, I don't want Lauren Chen or her family to think that I am just making this video in order to jump on the headlines that she's back. So I will only post this on my locals, my Substack, and my PickAx. I won't share it anywhere else unless Lauren Chen herself reaches out and says, hey, I'm cool if you want to post it around. But I just, out of respect, and because I knew that this was probably going to be the outcome, I'm going to only post it to those 3 places. Otherwise, yeah, I'm not surprised by this. This is what the Biden administration did. They did malicious prosecution. Also, Lauren Chen was based in Tennessee. Why was the Southern District of New York part of the prosecution? That makes no sense. Probably because they knew that a judge in the area where Lauren Chen was would look at this and go, this is nothing but malicious prosecution. But as you see, it comes down to she's not even going to get her livelihood back. And I hope every single conservative who jumped on the bandwagon of tar and feathering her feel foolish. You guys are stupid for trusting anything that came out of the Biden DOJ. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell to get notifications when I post a new vidcast, and consider becoming a channel member. If you want to support me in the work that I do, head on over to my new website at studiojakemedia.substack.com. There are different subscriptions there that unlock different tiers, including being able to pick the topic for the website or here on the vidcast. So that's pretty cool. So you can do that, and I really appreciate all of you who do. At that same website, there's a conveniently titled Buy My Book section. You'll find links all over the place where you can purchase all 4 of my novels, but they're all available on Amazon. Pick up 1 or all 4 and leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.